Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm Brendan Lee. In this video, I want to talk to you about a gripe I've got. I've got a gripe. And this has to do with organizational structure. So now in this, blah, blah, blah. I'm annoyed. I was reading a book a while back, and it's about this guy, Hackworth. He's a very famous military man. And I was trying to learn something about leadership and, just understanding the world through a different lens, whatever. And he mentioned in his book that he would go in this big organization, the military, the U.S. military, and he worked his way up from the bottom up through to a very high rank, and at times he was not favorable, or he would, speak his mind in certain ways, which didn't go over well with the higher ups in the chain of command. And he revealed in the book, I was reading, and I noticed this thing occur where he mentioned that he was, working his way up. And there were different levels of the organization, and at the bottom level, there's the men, women, the people, whomever, are getting the job done, say the fighting job. And then you go up a few tiers, and eventually you have like an upper command level that they're also getting a job done, but they're obviously not doing the same job as the people on the ground, the fighting forces, but they might be concerned with things like promotions or their next, they're working out a career. And in so doing, in their efforts to further their own career, they get off what I'm considering to be off track or off the beam. As Peter might say, off the beam. They're getting off track where they are doing things solely in favor of their career, which I understand. And yet these things were detrimental to those underneath them, or they were so out of touch with the base level, the boots on the ground, that it would, as if because of their selfishness, ended up costing lives or costing the organization effectiveness in the U.S. military. Where it's like you have these, if I put it in layman's terms, it's like you got some fucking douchebag at the top whose sole concern is their own stuff, and because they're so concerned with their own stuff, they poo-poo everybody else. Layman terms, yeah? You got the idea, you got the gist? Some asshole up at the tops got rank, they forget what it's like to be boots on the ground, and then they are doing stuff that they're like, no, we just need to order these weapons because they like the weapons, or because they're working out some deal, but the dudes on the ground are getting demolished because they got the wrong weapons, or they're not listening to the people at the bottom. You get the gist. I'm not being very concise. No, I'm attempting to be concise, but my language is crude. Do you get the idea? All right, so now my gripe is, it's the human tendency to want to take, if I create something, for example, I don't want to let it go. I get attached. And the attachment is, as far as I can tell, it's a natural byproduct of a human's desire to survive. The high mucky muck, well, fuck them, they're just down there. I get all this money, or I get all this stuff going on. It doesn't matter what they're doing. I'm going to do what's good for me. I'm going to act in my own self-interest, of course. And I guess I don't like that. I don't like it when it's fucking up other people. I don't like it when it's messing with effectiveness. You see, if the people at the bottom, are crying out saying, hey, this thing isn't effective, and then the person is incapable of changing, then the company will suffer, or the organization will suffer in power, to some degree, and then the people, so I guess I have a problem with that. Now, my problem aside, screw my problems, what I am making this video for is I want to alert people of this possibility. I want to alert others that humans, as far as I can tell, will have a tendency to want to act in these ways. And if you want to have an organization that operates in a powerful and effective way, it's like there's taking from my Marshall training and instruction and teaching, all this stuff. If the thing that I'm doing is not working, change. Yeah, but it's mine. I'm so special. It's precious. I built it. Yeah, is it working? No? Change it. Yeah, but blah, blah, blah. I did this to get promoted. Is it working? No, but blah, blah. Change it. And then shift, make an adjustment if you want to have that kind of effectiveness. And I don't want it. I don't want other people to rail. I don't want other people to push others down because they're locked into a thing. You know, they're locked into their own mind about how special they are, how special their perspective is, and it's a failure to recognize a lack of effectiveness if that's the goal. If the goal is act in your own self-interest, fuck other people, then you can do that too. I'm just saying. All right, so let me see. So what am I really wanting to get across here? What do I think would be good? I think it would be good if people who are in organizations are capable of taking feedback, recognizing when they're off. This can be very difficult to do. I'm not saying this is easy. Recognizing when they're off and make an adjustment, change, adjust. I could probably take my own advice. Communicate with the people who are doing the job. Like, for example, again, drawing from the military, there's these people that are called NCOs, non-commissioned officers, right? And then so an officer is trained up in the military. They go in, they get their training, they've never been in battle, then they go, they're given a squad, and the squad, these are the people that are fighting, and the officer needs to lead the squad, but the officer's never really been in battle. But there's these people within the squad or platoon, and they're in the unit, squad, platoon, whatever. There will be non-commissioned officers. These are veteran, battle-hardened people, likely, that they know their shit. And if the officer is smart, he'll go in, or she'll go in, and they will just, for a while, probably just shut up and listen to the people that know the job. Maybe say, hey, what can you teach me? Like, what can I know? So that then they can lead better. They can adjust. They can make the right decisions. You know, they pay attention to the people that know what the fuck's going on. Yeah? And I think there's something useful and powerful about staying in touch with what's going on in your organization so that you can relate to what's going on. You know, learning is about doing something, getting feedback, making an adjustment, doing it again. That's learning. If you are running a group of people, yourself can get in the way. I know this to be true. Why? Well, I've watched my own self. And it can be useful to be able to let go of self-concerns. It's powerful, in fact. And if you can do that, then I'm not saying you have to let go of self-concerns. I'm just saying that to have the capacity within certain situations or many situations where if you're locked into something and you're like, that's me, that's mine, I want it, but then effectiveness or some principle is saying, this is the direction to go, and you're like, yeah, but I want to go my way. It's useful to be able to go, I want to go, nah, that way. Drop it. No thanks. That's useful. And imagine a large organization full of people that could do that. You know? That'd be something. The ability to make correction, but to stay on track. Now, that staying on track business is definitely not easy. I can say that. So I do have some space for things getting off the beam. I just wanted to reveal this aspect of something I've noticed with humans in this video, and especially applying to organizations, businesses, or organizations of any kind, where if there's a large structure like that, having some way of staying in touch with the people on the ground so that there are open flows of communication, then if something's off, it can be corrected. And then progress and effectiveness and power and whatever you can get about your business, even better than before. And that's my goal. All right? Like another heard about this in the Toyota plant. Apparently in Toyota, anybody working the line can push a button and stop the entire line at any time, I hear tell. That if they see a flaw in the production, boom, that is immediately stopped, and everybody, doesn't matter who they are, they're empowered to do that. And so then you can imagine if something's coming along, they don't produce 100,000 of something with this flaw and then have to recall it. It gets corrected right away because there is this autonomy, and that, I would say, is a mechanism for communication from the boots on the ground up to straight up the chain of command. See? And I think that is the crux of the video. It's like, I don't want, it seems like if there's a gap between the people at the top and the people on the bottom, there's a disconnect, then it turns into this weird environment where there's not so much communication and people aren't being heard, and it does not serve the functionality of the organization as far as I can tell. It would function better this other way. All right, so that's what I have for you on that. I'm Brendan Lee with thebrendanlee.com. Check the links in the description to learn more. I do other things. Hit me up. Send me a comment. Send me an email. Write me a comment. And all these things. I hope you're doing well out there. Let me know what you think. Take care. Much love. Good luck. Kick some ass. Ciao.